America was like screw communism, but now it's kind of just the government, and it seems like in the background they're like screw communism. But the average person, you talk to like a UT college student, they don't give a shit about communism.
Yeah, I mean, why do we hate it so much? Do you think it represents the next step in human society and people don't want to admit it?
Perhaps that's the race between China and America: communism versus capitalism.
I mean, communism is just an idea. I mean, it stands for community instead of capital. So it's like instead of just thinking about capital, well, why don't we think about the whole community? And like it's so vague, you know, like everyone, anything can be called communism. Like, oh, you're having a bake sale, that's communism. Or capitalism, depending on your definition. But like, yeah, like you're helping people eat, or you're helping people get a dentist or a hospital. It's like, since we label everything communism, we don't do basic things to help our community, because that's communism. The only thing that you can do is profit. So if you can't just help people, you can't just help people. You got to find a way to make money off of helping people. And so now we just fucked ourselves, and now we don't help our community because we think that's communism. So it's like a self-defeating mentality to just be like, never do communism. Don't give homeless people food, or don't help build houses after Katrina. That's communism. And it's just like, it's not realistic, or
Right.
it's not smart.
And the people who try to, I guess, serve the community without worrying about the dollar kind of go under pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's not a sustainable business model to help people.
Because then someone who makes a lot of money from it will outcompete you and outbid you and destroy you in the competition. But
I'm curious to see what you think about a show that promotes capitalism like Shark Tank. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's great to help innovation and help new ideas and inventions, but I don't know if that's capitalism, because capitalism is about people who own capital making more money, which I guess they're doing, but they're also helping, like people become capitalists. So I guess it's good. But yeah, I mean, people say that there's more innovation under capitalism, but I don't know if that's true, because
No, dude.
Yeah.
Well, Disney keeps on buying company after company.
yeah, they destroy
show after
competition.
show. Yeah, yeah.
And it's all about profit. So like, if you have an idea for an invention, you can't work on it. You got to work in McDonald's and work for the real capitalists. So then all the human labor goes towards making people who are rich already rich. And then you don't have time to innovate and think of new ideas. But yeah, I mean, I love Shark Tank. I think that I think it's like fucked up to like think of things like capitalist or communist, because then it's like such a black and white view of the world. It should be like, oh, this is good, we should do this, even though it's capitalistic. You know, like, oh, people are coming up with new ideas, let's help them. I don't think that's a bad thing.
In a way, Kill Tony seems like the comedy version of Shark Tank, promoting comedy and then kind of
Yeah.
like diffusing the whole art
Here,
form.
let's hear your 1 minute pitch. And then be like, I can give you 10% stake in my company.
I got a hot bid on midgets, Hans. How much you want to put into that? How much you
Yeah.
willing to steal that joke for? A midget joke.
Yeah, what if that's just how Tony comes up with his hour? He just goes on Kill Tony and steals everyone's best bits. That'd be a great way
We'll
to
know
do
if he
it.
steals my selling salts bit.
We're not on Kill Tony right now.
I've had a lot of people tell me, they'd be like, Chris, since you look like Hans, wouldn't it be funny if you went up as him one time and just wore his glasses?
Why is your face so red? Are you tanned? Oh, 'cause you drank.
It's the watermelon, yeah. Nice
I
and
can
red.
tell you're fucked up right now.
Maybe if I drink this mango, I'm going to go back to yellow, back to normal.
So, yeah, what do you think about this podcast studio? You think it could be a good thing? You could do a lot of podcasts from here?
Yeah, of course, dude. You got like the red hexagons. It almost looks like the red Power Ranger in here, white and then red.
Yeah, I need more of them. They're so expensive. It's like $40 for just these.
Are you serious? How much is the
Yeah.
black thing, like the fluffy thing?
Oh, I don't know. Is that better?
I just see it in every podcast studio, so I assume
Yeah.
that's like the norm, almost like a Shure microphone.
Yeah, I should have got that. I was thinking they have these blankets. I could just hang out blankets. Be cheaper.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, buy like little curtains. Shouldn't be more than like $200.
Yeah. Just cover this place with curtains.
Holy crap! So you spent one.
No, they're all $40.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that bad, but if I want to cover this whole place in that thing,
Yeah.
but it helps. It used to be a lot more echoey in here.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Definitely find a sound guy. Are you doing everything yourself?
Yeah.
All audio. Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to find a sound guy, someone who's like just
Sam, who's
hanging
been
out.
helping you at your dating show, though, right?
Yeah.
He's good with sound.
Yeah, he could help, but it's just another person. This is so simple. Like I have all the gear. It takes me a little while, but once I start doing it, I'll get better at it too. Then I won't need more people. Even though in China, that's what they have is more people. They just use
They
people
have a
like
shortage, though. They're running.
slaves.
They didn't keep the girls, so now all the guys are horny.
Yeah, that's the wrong move. Yeah, that's the wrong move. You want one guy to every 10 girl, because then that guy can fuck them all. But if you have 10 girls
Then everyone's happy.
or 10 guys and only one girl, she can only get pregnant like 7 times in her life max.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's how they curb population. Then it is a problem.
Just get rid of women.
Chicken and the egg situation.
Yeah.
No, limit the women.
Limit women. Lemon women.
You think that we'd do all right if we were in China? And would we be able to find
Sexually?
some pussy?
Depends on what her job is. Aren't they really superficial?
No. China loves comedy. They have free speech on stage in Beijing, dude. They will love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how far they got without any individual liberties. It's like, wow, people can invent shit even if, like, you know, it's not set up for it. Or, like, even if, I don't know. I guess it's just all about studying there. Like, you study a lot and then you get to work on VR or genetic research or whatever.
The next Apple phone, the iPhone.
Yeah.
Everybody, I went to a college with a bunch of Chinese immigrants. All of them were like, I'm never going back.
Why? Because it's so hard. They have to work so much.
Basically, yeah. It's not China, but my dad has a friend in Thailand. His kid makes 30,000 baht a month, which ends up being like $300, and
So-
that's like comfortable,
Yeah.
which is wild to me, dude.
Is that a sad story, or is that a story about how little money it costs to live in Thailand?
That's how much it costs to live like a decent life. That's like the equivalent of like 50K over there.
So it's like not a good way to live. I bet if you're that poor, then it sucks. Because like you might be able to live rich in Thailand, but like you can tell in subtle ways, like it costs way too much to buy like alcohol from America, like a Miller Lite. I bet it's like super expensive there.
That's
And you don't
fair.
have access to all the things that you see on video.
In Thailand?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they restricted that much. Maybe stuff about the government, but everything else, like you can still watch like Two Girls, One Cup. I think that's more.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like imports or like Lamborghinis and stuff.
Yeah. Mercedes there costs like 300K just for like a
Yeah.
standard whatever.
Yeah, in Korea, like foreign imports are really expensive, so they just make luxury Hyundais. Just make it in house. That's a good idea to just make things yourself, so you don't have to get it from elsewhere.
It's funny that we're talking about Asia. I've been learning about a lot of comics, like black comics or like Middle Eastern comics, who have like a comedy troupe. Would you ever consider going to Asia to do shows?
Maybe. It just feels like a weird thing to do, like, I need other people. Like, let's get it together and be less lonely together, and we can go around and be friends. It just seems like they're more interested in just hanging out with other people and finding commonalities than they are with actually performing and doing stand-up. Like Middle Eastern people are like, we're the Shaws of comedy or whatever.
Yeah. Bernie Mac was on the Kings of Comedy.
Yeah.
What if we were autistic about comedy and we were like, we're not going to talk until an hour before the show? And we were just like, it's only about the bits.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be weird if you brought something up and then everyone was like, why did you bring that up? I feel like that's what Asians do. They're like, why are you doing that right now?
Yeah.
They're like always questioning why you're talking. So you have to have a really good reason to be talking. But in America, everyone's just always talking. So it's not really about like why you talked, but if you can make it good and create positive spikes in energy. Get everyone to
this
laugh.
is all about like shooting the shit and basically just like riffing, having fun.
Yeah, podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like having conversations publicly. It's like a private conversation done for public consumption. It's weird because it's like we're supposed to be just talking to each other and connecting, but we're also doing it for other people.
Right.
And look how well we talk to each other.
We talk real good, dude.
Does you think like
Snort even
smelling
better.
that shit makes you more in your feelings and less in your thoughts?
No, this connects the brain and the heart.
Someone gave us 50 Mexican dollars.
That's what, like $1.50?
I don't know.
That's pretty nice though. I haven't really gotten paid to smell this yet. Well, I guess it's going to you.
Stand-up advice, I would say just keep doing it and improve as a person and just constantly write jokes and then find out which jokes work well for you and keep taking risks and keep bombing and finding out which jokes are good for your style and which jokes work. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think like we should not fight each other so much. I think because of like history, like people are more adversarial. Like China is fighting America. It's not like a group effort.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense because like look how the world was conquered. It wasn't a very peaceful or hospitable thing that was done.
Right.
It was profit. They were just trying to make as much money and take over as much shit as possible. So we're on the wake of that.
Yeah, every rich, powerful man just wants to control the world. I think everybody needs to take shrooms or some sort of psychedelics because it like snaps you out of that. I remember like being like 19 taking shrooms for the first time. I wanted to be like an oil tycoon and like just like own and like dominate. And then I took shrooms and I was like, no.
Yeah, that seems gross when you're high on shrooms.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I want to do that? That's like horrible. Yeah, I mean, shrooms would help. That's why they're illegal.
Dude, if everybody took shrooms, like nobody would work at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
The stand-up comedian population might like quadruple.
Yeah, we should all pursue our interests, and we should all emphasize the best parts of humanity and not just our ability to load things or carry things or flip burgers.
I remember you told me you got an engineering degree. How long did you work as an engineer?
1 year.
Okay, that's about the same for me working in finance.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's like such a rigged game. It's like, why would I want to play this? The ceiling for me in this game is like a really good cubicle worker. Like, I don't want to play a game that's rigged. I want to play a game where I can win. And it's not a game that you can win if you are an engineer. It's all
Yeah.
mapped out already. They know exactly what you're going to do. They've seen different types of people come through the system, and they know how to neutralize you. So,
You have to be a business guy if you want to kind of climb up, even
yeah,
if
you
you're
have
an
to be
engineer by
just
trade.
focused solely on taking shit over.
Domination, dude.
Because if you're actually good at something like engineering, then you're not going to have enough marbles or attention or energy to fight off someone who's just trying to take everything over. So that's why you can't just have like a free-for-all, because then it just becomes a base survival game. People who are actually good at something are not favored, because you just wasted a bunch of time and energy actually getting good at something.
It's so sad to hear you say that. I think you're right. But like, all I want right now is to get good at comedy, just to build like one true skill. I've never had like a genuine skill. School, I've been like fine, whatever, good at, but like, never cared, never been good at anything I give a shit about.
Yeah, that's the norm. I mean, you're doing it. You're probably better than most people at comedy will ever be. Like 95% of the population. And I mean, you just gotta enjoy it. Like, the fucking people that do it the best aren't doing it to win and dominate and take over. They're doing it because they enjoy it and they have fun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't want to be a loser who's like failing but enjoys it and loves doing it. You gotta have some sort of success and some sort of positive feedback.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't also just only have that. You also just gotta love the art of it and love doing it.
Yeah, I appreciate the compliment. That means a lot. I think I focus on the art of it too much, to where like the networking and like the schmoozing and all that gets in the way.
Yeah.
Don't you ever feel like you just want to do your set, chat for like 20 minutes, and then bounce?
Yeah. All the time. That's what I normally do. Unless I'm hanging out with Joe Rogan, in which case I want to hang out with him as much as possible and soak in every ounce of his energy.
What have you learned from working with Joe?
He's really good at talking. I try to learn how to talk like him. He's good at energy. He's good at like being himself and just helping people. And you know, he's honest and nice. He's not lying. He's not like, you know, being like, hey, how's your day been? What's your cat doing now? He's just himself, and he's also nice. He's not like faking it. He doesn't have to fake it to be nice. He can be genuine and nice. You don't have to be fake to be nice. But yeah, I just want to do my set and leave. I don't really want to be there for a long time.
Yeah.
What do you think about just like you're feeling antisocial? You just like want to do your comedy and leave?
Not really leave, but like just move on to the next place without feeling like a flake or like giving out Irish goodbyes. I'm just like, I just want to go to the next place.
Well, yeah, you did what you had to do. You made the room feel great. Instead of like talking to everyone for 5 minutes, you talk to them all at once for 5 minutes. It's more efficient. And then you leave. It's like most people don't ever talk to everyone at a party, and you just did that. So technically you made more FaceTime than most people did.
True.
But yeah, I mean, it's really a solitary pursuit. You're just doing comedy and you're working on your craft, so whatever it takes. But yeah, it's exhausting, especially like socializing and the mental and emotional energy that takes. That's why I really enjoyed the pandemic, is because I took a break from people and
Same.
just hung out with myself.
How many months were you on the road for? I know you were like visiting a bunch of like national parks and stuff.
Like 6 months total, maybe 5 months.
I was about 4 months. We actually had like parallel timelines actually.
Yeah, it's great to be alone. And then I'm happy to be back in society. I'm not forced to be here.
I know that. Would you ever consider doing this? I know Ari is like known for like leaving the country and going off the grid for like 3 months at a time. Would you ever do that?
Yeah, I think it's good for you. But I do like having a career and like furthering it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I would do a podcast from the road so I don't lose any fans or followers.
Be easier to podcast if that's like all you did and no comedy. You'd have a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah. So do you date a lot? Before you met your girlfriend, were you out there dating a lot of people?
I was on the app, so I would like meet girls after shows. I don't know if you got this, but after Shang-Chi came out, that helped Asians a lot.
I didn't feel anything. I think it's the placebo effect.
Maybe on the girls, I don't think it helped. I didn't act any different, but I had like 6 cougars come up to me like within a month after Shang-Chi came out, and I was like, I cannot wait for the sequel.
What, the 15 rings? It's just like, what kind of people are these whores that are changing their whole sexual preference
They're
based
great.
on what Marvel
They're great.
movie comes out
They're
next?
great. That's fine with me. Keep
Simplest,
making them.
dumbest people. That's who you're attracting.
Just watch. You're gonna be the next Shang-Chi, man. You're gonna be a sidekick, and you'll be like, I love Marvel.
Like, you couldn't see the humanity in Asian people before a Marvel movie that wasn't even that good came out, that didn't really delve into Asian culture that much.
It takes Hollywood to get you laid sometimes. Bruce Lee kind of painted the way. Jet Li, Jackie Chan didn't really help, honestly. Too goofy.
Yeah, he was asexual. Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe it was the chicken and the egg. You know, maybe Asian people were accepted in mainstream society and then they made a movie about it rather than the other way around. Because Asian
Oh.
women have been doing great and they don't have any Marvel movies.
That's true, but they're also like sexualized and in like a very negative way, to where they're like fetishized.
I mean, that's how American culture treats anything that they want to fuck. It's not like the Asians that are the problem, but like sex. So at least they're in there. At least they're in the fucking game. Now we just have to improve our general sexual health as a culture.
I mean, as a Kill Tony regular, you basically are like a billboard for yellow fever. You're like promoting Asians to
Yeah, I
mainly
hope
a
so.
white audience.
Yeah, I mean, Asians aren't really that well represented, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like trying to be a normal person. Yeah, it's not really that hard. So, what do you think? You think like it's good that I'm on Kill? Have you been helped out by that?
Not really. I guess the only benefit from you being on Kill Tony is that I've been mistaken for you several times.
Yeah, that's like helping you out. At least you're confused with a real person that is actually doing something and not just a fake movie about a dude that doesn't exist with powers that aren't real.
I think I wouldn't mind being mixed up for Shang-Chi.
Yeah. I think that it's fine if you like Marvel movies. It's just like, to me, that's like I mean, it's like such shitty
Capitalism
art.
in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's like Mad Libs.
Mad Libs in what way? That's interesting.
Like, put in race here, and then put in superpower here. Put in the love interest here, and then family dynamics here. But yeah, I mean, I think the thing about the Asian movies that came out, like Shang-Chi and Everything Everywhere All at Once, is that they're really good at painting intergenerational conflict. I think Asians are very much more aware of that. Because, like, Everything Everywhere All at Once was all about that. Shang-Chi was about, like, a dad that's, like, lost his way. Like a boomer that's just hell-bent on power, and the millennial has to come in and be like,
to
calm your
neutralize
shit.
everything.
Yeah, stop being so crazy.
That's interesting. That would resonate with a lot of Asians, especially, because that hits home. For other audiences, maybe not as much.
Yeah, because we're just like so mired in it. We're like, our parents are like this, but I'm like this. And
Dude,
it
that's half my
conflicts.
act. I just talk about like it's all inspired by like family and like rifts apart from the family.
Well, I don't really, um, I don't really fight with my family or interact with them. I just ignore them and then like deal with the problems that exist outside of my family. But maybe the family is a good way to tackle the problem.
I don't know if you felt this, but when I was like on my road trip around the same time as you, like it was the first time where I was like off the grid. I didn't talk to family for essentially like 4 months. And I was like, it was the happiest I've ever been. And I was like, what is this telling me?
I think it just means you needed a break and you just needed to be by yourself. But if you're by yourself for a long time, maybe you would crave other people.
No, you definitely do. Yeah, just even like on a 3 day like solo like backpacking trip, you'll feel it. You'll want to talk to like
Yeah, it's like everything you
cashier.
do is amazing and great, but there's no context and there's no if there's no one there watching you do it, then it's like it doesn't even matter. It might as well not have happened because if there's no one there to give it meaning or tell you how awesome that was.
Right.
Yeah, like I loved, like my sleep schedule was so good when I was living out there because you
What was
wake up
it?
with the sun.
Yeah.
I woke up before the sunrise, and I would like get on top of a hill and wait for the sun to rise and just see the sun rising and the shadows moving.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. It was really good for you, I think.
Sleep, like the quality of sleep, you can definitely feel it. Like when you go to bed at like 10 or 11 p.m., which is kind of early for like comedians, especially. That's shit. What was I gonna say? This White Claw's
It's
hitting harder
good
than
for
I
you
thought.
to sleep on time, and you sleep at 10 or 11, you probably sleep better.
Yeah. I don't know if you felt this, but like the biggest pain in the ass with camping is finding shade during the day. Like I would enjoy sunrise, and then from like 10:30 until like 6 p.m. it would suck ass.
Because
there's
it
no
was so
shade.
sunny.
Yeah. No
Well,
matter where
yeah.
it was.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta you gotta go at the right time. The weather is so important. The season. I loved camping when I did. I camped like December in Southern California,
Damn.
which is
dude, that's
perfect.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go to Death Valley?
No, I was in Joshua Tree. But yeah, I love camping. We should go sometime.
I'd be down. What's the best spot around here?
I don't know. They're all paid spots. I went to Kiko's property.
I heard that's a good spot. It's on
a
the
good
water,
spot.
right?
Yeah, but it's like a neighborhood. It's not
Oh.
really like a camp spot, but it's pretty remote. And there's like a RV park, and there's like a bunch of people on the river. It's not really secluded, but it's still sort of like camping. But yeah, we'd have to pay for a spot, which I think is bullshit. Why should I pay to go camping? The whole thing is like I don't need anything.
Yeah.
If there's like running water and Wi-Fi, then maybe I'd pay for it. But yeah, I just don't know why. I don't need anything. Like you don't need to do any upkeep. You don't need to rake the sand. Just let me go out. Like it's so crazy that we have to pay for camping.
You had to pay to go to Joshua Tree, though, right?
If you wanted to go into Joshua Tree, yeah. But I was like in the BLM lands above and below Joshua Tree.
Dude, BLM, man, they deserve a lot of credit. Like it's so
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's just free. And they take care of everything.
Yeah. Also, Black
Taxpayers'
Lives
money.
Matter. BLM twice.
Yeah. Not a lot of people know about BLM in Texas because they have no public lands here. Everything is private.
It's all oil.
It's all ranches and ranges. They're just like, let's let the rich people have whatever they want here. Nothing for the public, all for the private.
A part of me is like, that's kind of fine because Texas really doesn't have that many great parks or like lands. Like, if you go to like
Well, which
Joshua
came
Tree-
first, the chicken or the egg? maybe there aren't a lot of great parks and lands because we didn't build them.
No, but the whole idea of a national park is that it's like naturally appealing and beautiful, like Joshua
Yeah.
Tree. It's
Well,
not
maybe
man-made.
maybe there was beautiful shit here, but then it's all in private hands.
Mm.
I'm sure there's a lot of beautiful places, like the hill country here. Then there's like the desert. There's like different things going on here.
I've driven through Texas so many times. There's nothing, Hans. You're an optimist in this situation, but there's nothing, dude. I've driven out to Big Bend twice. There's nothing, man.
Joshua Tree isn't that great.
Oh no, I don't
just a
think
bunch
it
of
was that great
cacti.
either. Yeah, Death Valley is great though. You should have gone there.
It was pretty cold. It gets pretty cold in Death Valley.
It definitely does. I was there in the summer, like during the hottest month. At night, it'd be 110 degrees.
How did you sleep? Were you in a tent?
No, I was in a truck, dude. It was fucking terrible.
That's horrible. Did you have AC? Did you leave your car running?
No, I was just sweating through the night. I left all the windows down. I slept with a machete. It was terrible, dude. I was there for 5 days.
Oh my god, dude. You're crazy. That's fun. 5 days of heat. Yeah, you gotta pick the right time to go camping. I'm not going camping now in Texas. And it's also like I don't want to travel far. I'm such a spoiled little baby about camping ever since I've been camping.
Same.
I just need it to be perfect or else I'm not going.
I'd be willing to get a trip going out with a couple other comics, but like you gotta. Fall is the perfect time to go, honestly.
Yeah.
Like October, that would be perfect.
Yeah, it's coming up. September already.
I know, dude. 9/11's around the corner.
Yeah, can't wait. Let's celebrate by running into buildings.
Nah, there's enough dark comedy shows on 9/11. We can celebrate there.
We should go base jumping off of a skyscraper to imitate the people that were jumping off of the building. Yeah, I mean Texas is pretty barren, but this East Texas is great. West Texas is horrible.
I haven't been to the east that much. What have you seen?
We're
there?
in the east, like the green. If you look at a map of Texas on Google Maps, it's just all green, and then on the west side it's all brown. It's just desert. Yeah. The thing about the fall is that's when all the illegals will be coming around.
But they're coming from the south. If we go east, that's fine.
Well, who knows where they're going to be coming out from. Do you think that who would you bring camping with you?
Damn, that's a good question. Matt Boyd, he's a handyman. He's an outdoorsy guy.
He also doesn't eat a lot of food. He's very small. He's efficient. He's the most amount of conversation for the least amount of nutrients.
He's fun size. We'll make him carry all the fruit. That's the heaviest stuff.
I went camping with this girl, and she was doing dishes. Like she was living in her car too, and she had like a bunch of china. She had like a kayak and like just a bunch of random ass shit just shoved into her car. And I was like,
Definitely
this is not
stole it.
efficient.
Definitely stole that stuff.
Maybe. But yeah, we were like camping, and we had like not that much fresh water, and she's like using it to clean the dishes for this china, this glassware. I was like, what are you doing? But yeah, I mean, as long as she's having fun, that's the thing. Is like it gets so boring out there. Like if you find a project and you want to do it, and someone tells you no, there's like, fuck you, I want to do this.
Wait, so you weren't staying in the car? You were like straight up just like only a backpack and
No, I
whatever
was
water?
staying in the van.
Oh, so water is a problem?
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a problem. It was just like, now we're going to have to go back into town
okay.
to get water. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed not going back into town, but she was like, let's go to Walmart. I need more shit. She was. It was like a girl thing too.
Yeah.
Like they like feeling connected and safe and luxurious.
Did you make them feel safe?
I hope so.
Protected?
I mean, I didn't have a gun, but I had I didn't even have a spear. I was making a spear. I found like a metal pole, and I would heat it up in the campfire and then rub it on a rock. And I still have it.
You
But-
made like a shank, basically,
Yeah.
like a javelin shank.
Yeah. It's not a very good spear because I just flattened it and then made it pointy, but it's like these two things. So I just combined them together.
You
But
still
yeah.
have it? Is it
Yeah,
in your room?
it's in my van.
Perfect.
I got a real spear on Amazon. They're only like $50.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they like one of the javelin spears that you could throw?
I'm sure you could throw it. I don't think it's meant for throwing though. I don't want to throw my spear because then now it's over there. But it's the perfect weapon because guns are hard to use if you're not trained at it. Because you're just standing there while some guy's coming at you,
Mhm.
and you gotta do this. But a spear, you can be like, it's more natural to just.
I've seen videos of
Yeah.
you shooting a gun. You seem fine.
Well, now I am. Yeah, I've been shooting a lot.
Yeah, you've been in Texas 2 years. You know what to do.
Yeah. I love it. I love shooting guns. It's like you get to play out a fantasy and it's like practical and it's like a martial art. It's everything.
You ever just go to the Target, slap on an old bully on the face?
No, it's at a range, so it's kind of weird. So, yeah, what do you think? You think that we should talk about dating?
Sure, yeah. Dude, are you on the apps? What are you doing these days?
No,
I got
I'm
a
not on the
girlfriend,
app.
so.
I only meet people through comedy.
Hmm.
I don't want to meet anyone any other way because I don't have any advantages outside of comedy. Why would I like play a game that I'm not good at? Like I'd rather play with the dice loaded.
We've talked about this a little bit before, but like I feel like Kill Tony Mondays should be like your holy day, right? Because you're like
Yeah.
a god for like
You mean a
3
day
hours.
full of holes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more popular on Mondays usually. Kill Tony helps. I have a girl right now in San Antonio, and we've been seeing each other, and she's amazing. But yeah, like before I met her, it was just like, it's just tricky because okay, so I do Kill Tony. I'm up first usually. I end the show, and then.
What do you mean you end the show? I thought.
Or
you
no,
were
I don't
first.
end the show. The show ends.
Okay. Uh huh.
And then what do? I just walk around like looking for attention and approval. That feels weird. So I usually just spend it in the green room hanging with the guests and Tony and William Montgomery and just having a good time, just shooting the shit. And then eventually I go out, but by then everyone's gone. And then I go to Continental Club and hang out there.
Oh, that's a great club. Love
Yeah.
it.
You've been there before the pandemic?
No, after the pandemic, I tried to run a couple shows there, but I just like stayed there to catch a couple shows. It's a great place. I'm down
Yeah.
to hang out there. It's a
Yeah.
really good place.
Yeah, it's a good place. I meet some people there sometimes.
Do you
But,
go solo or do you go out with people?
I mean, I go there with the Kill Tony crew.
Nice.
So, yeah, I don't like to go anywhere where I'm not known or where I don't have an advantage. And like this ex of mine was like saying that like a net bad thing. She's like, you don't like to go out. You only like to go out where people know you. I was like, yeah, obviously. I like to play.
I love how you use advantage, almost like this is all like a Monopoly game. I love it, dude.
Yeah, I only go
Savage.
to places where I can collect $200. Yeah. I mean, I don't think like the normal dating scene is like the objective truth and like the best way to date. I think that shit is all fucked up. So I don't respect that game, and if I don't have to play it, I won't. I don't think that it's a healthy way to meet people, and I don't like the way that the people treat me.
Mm-hmm.
unless they know me. Like if
Yeah.
they don't know me, they treat me like shit, and I don't want to deal with that. Like it's either you accept being treated like shit or you fight back, and fighting back, even if you win, it just makes you look like an asshole. And
Yeah,
like,
sore loser and all that.
yeah.
So what are you looking for with dating? Do you want a girlfriend? Do you want like a
Yeah.
fuck buddy?
I want a girlfriend. I want someone who will be there for a long time, that I'm happy to be seen in public with, that I like showing off.
Dude, I've seen the last two girls you were with. I met your blonde gal foul. She was very pretty.
Thanks. But yeah, I mean, that's a part of it, but it's obviously not the end all be all. But
Yeah.
it's important to, not be ashamed of the person that you love. And to like brag and show off and look what I can do. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I'm awesome. But that's like that. You can't like live off of that. That's a very shallow. That's like dessert. But yeah, if I think that she's pretty, then that's more important, because you're gonna be having to see that every day. But yeah, I'd like to have a girlfriend, like a steady, and like someone who isn't gonna just run away and like I have to start over and find someone new all the time.
Uh-huh.
That's exhausting. I'd rather just have a relationship with someone and like build on top of, instead of just having shallow one-time reactions.
Yeah. I feel like it's even harder for you to date because people know you do Kill Tony, you open for Rogan now. Like, do you feel like dating's harder?
No, it's way easier. People are more
Or, like
interested.
finding like a genuine connection. I'm sure they're interested, but like to differentiate, like filter out the girls who
I don't
just
think
like
most people are aware that that could be a possibility, and then they try to censor themselves. And most people who are like that are very easy to spot. Most people are like, oh yeah, I know he does that, but that's not the most important thing, even though that is like a definite benefit. It definitely improves my quality of life to open for Rogan and have money and do cool shit.
Yeah.
And have cool experiences. But yeah, I don't like going out in public and meeting randos. I just feel like people are so suspicious and wary, especially women, single women. They're like, gross, you want to have sex with me? That's perverted. It's like, relax, you fucking Puritan. In Europe, they're so much more relaxed about all that. Like, people actually girls actually smile at you, and they don't make you feel bad for wanting to fuck them.
Sex is like very normalized over there. Over here, like you shouldn't care if a girl has sex with like 40 guys. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah, have fun. Have a good time. But yeah, I mean, I think like it's our Puritan background. Like, we're founded by the most religious freaks and weirdos, and we did an alcohol prohibition, and we just have a lot of like prudes and stuck up, like a lot of people that don't like sex in our history. And also I think it's like our lack of social safety net and healthcare. Like, women need a fuck to survive. Like, in Europe they have a social safety net, but here it's like if you fuck the wrong person, you could be in a trailer park.
Interesting.
So it's more serious. It's not fun. It's more like business. Like, stop staring at me. I need to use my sexuality to get a decent standard of living, and you're fucking it up for me. It's like, yeah, it's like not fun. It's more like a business.
Yeah, and girls are running against the clock too, so it's even more like a business.
Yeah, when
Short
they're
on supply.
when they have the least patience too. When they're young and want to have fun, that's when they have the most market value. And that's the juxtaposition. They're like, I want to just have fun, but I also need to make sure when I'm 40 that I'm not living in the streets. So I need to find the right guy.
No, you gotta find the right girl who's like independent, a girl who like pays for her own shit.
Yeah, that would help. But even if you find a girl like that, they're probably like bitches because they have to work so hard to get there. They're like,
They're type A, yeah. Like I've noticed dating in New York versus Austin. The girls in Austin are like, you can pay for it. Girls in New York, type A, they're like, no, I want to pay for this latte.
yeah. Well, it's more even over there.
Yeah.
Men and women make roughly the same amount over there as opposed to here.
Remember Pearl Harbor? That's coming up soon too,
Yeah,
right?
Pearl
That's like-
Harbor.
yeah.
When Asians owned white people.
That's the Asian 9/11 right there.
That's the Asian D-Day. That's our finest moment. But honestly, Japanese people kind of fucked up everybody. They fucked up the Philippines. They were really bad. They were really in a bad mood during the 40s.
I had fun when I visited Japan twice. I will say though, my grandpa or my grandma was, she knew people who were like survived the rape of Nanjing, and she even like saw somebody like get cut in half.
That'll put a damper on your Japan trip.
Yeah, I didn't find out till after I left Japan, thank God. But yeah, I was like, that's pretty fucked up. Then they
Yeah.
went from like cutting women in half by the pussy to a Hello Kitty.
And making some of the best porn ever.
You think it's good porn? I don't think
Yeah.
it's good. They censor everything. You kidding me, dude?
I know, even with the censorship, you can find some good shit.
Maria Ozawa. That's it. That's all they got.
They have like fucking, like their standard big name porn isn't that great, but like some of the mental games and like the seduction that goes on, because they did some fucked up shit.
What you talking about? Like the Nuru
like
massage?
porn.
What was
Nuru
fucked up about
massages.
it? What was fucked up about it?
Because they fucking drug girls to make them super horny, and then they start touching their pussy, and it's like super hot because it's like they didn't expect it, and then they're getting a finger in their pussy.
Uh-huh.
It's like
What kind of
low
drugs?
key rape, like horny drugs. I don't know what it is. It makes girls horny.
Shit, I might take some myself.
I
Damn,
know.
Dude.
I need to find this because.
Dude, that might be the next thing. The next time y'all watch the podcast, it'll be sponsored by horny drugs.
They got good BDSM.
You like that? I can't get into that.
I just feel like you haven't found the right stuff. Like there's some good Japanese porn.
Send me a couple of links after this.
I'll show you what I came to recently. But yeah, I love pussy. I don't respect like the game of pussy and like the people that actually get a lot of pussy. So to me, it's like just a joke. Like ha ha ha, you know, I get a lot of puss. Like I want to disrespect that game, and I want people that play that game seriously to be ridiculed and made fun of, because I think it's a hoax. I think you don't reward the right people. Girls
Yeah.
have no idea who to fuck or who not to, and they always fuck the wrong people, and the people that they should fuck are lonely and sad, and girls never make an effort to go out and meet people, and then they complain that everyone in their life is pushy and aggressive.
I can never find the right guy.
Yeah. That's because they are looking for someone that just overwhelms all their senses. They're like, holy shit, this guy is like doing shit I can't even process. He must be good for me. It's like they have no like taste. They just want like, you know, overwhelming sensations, and they have no like discernment. They just want someone that's like gonna fuck their shit up, and not someone who's like takes a while to understand, and like it's like an acquired taste, and you develop together, and you have exponential returns on pleasure, because they're just too impatient. They're just like TikTok generation. They just want everything the most possible. They don't want to work for it at all.
TikTok generate. Are you talking to like 17-year-old girls? We're more
I'm
like
talking
the
about
Instagram
millennials.
age.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean
millennials?
them too. But TikTok
Gen
is the
Z.
worst version of that.
Yeah.
And like, there's less sex going on now. I
Who's
think,
saying that?
Than
People are eating ass now.
1950s.
Who's saying that?
Well, they're doing more extreme shit, but I think people nowadays are too self-centered to fuck, because fucking requires you to think about another person, and they've never really thought about other people. They only care about themselves.
Did you feel like I feel this at least? Let me know what you think. I felt like girls in New York were more horny, but girls in Austin are hotter.
I mean, New York has some of the hottest girls ever. Maybe just like the general popul on average. Um, are hornier. I guess because it's more liberal there, they feel safer and they're like more willing to. But
Sex is
girls
also like
here,
an activity to like offset anxiety and depression too, I think.
yeah, it's all about like their self care. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna fuck someone to make myself feel better. But here it's like all about reputation and they don't want to be known as a slut.
Yeah, especially because Austin is like a relatively small city. It's like 1 million people, which it's not that big.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a small city. And people here are closer. They're more nice. Like people like get nicer to each other right away as opposed to
Yeah.
in New York, there's like a wall. They're like, "Oh, you're just another person." And then you have to break past that. But here they're like, "Oh, look, another person." Like people are more valuable here. In New York, they're just like, another human being that I have to ignore." People get really good at ignoring and finding ways to like relegate someone to the outskirts of their personal life
Yeah.
in New York, just because they have to do it all the time. So it's like, you can see it like when you talk to someone in New York, like they don't even like pay attention to you fully. They're just like on autopilot because like they don't give a shit really.
Yeah. Although there's something to be said about that. Everybody is like that, but like, do you find like moments of vulnerability? I think to where like there's
Right.
so many people eager for connection, not just sexual, just like the idea of like making a new friend.
Yeah, because it's like they see people all the time, and then they're like, "Oh, I wish I could connect. I wish I
Yeah,
could connect."
yeah.
And then finally they find someone they can connect to.
But the weird thing in New York is that a friendship kind of fizzles out. Like if you see somebody in New York like once a month, that's like a steady buddy. But that only happens for like 5 months. But in
Yeah.
Austin, you can keep that going like pretty regularly.
Yeah. Yeah, because everyone's. Yeah, there's so many people in New York. You can just find a replacement.
Nah, dude, we're irreplaceable in New York.
Yeah. That's the thing is like if you feel replaceable, then you don't know what's valuable about yourself. And a lot of the comics there are like fighting against relevancy and like they're like, "Don't forget about me." So they do like shocking things and things to get remembered sometimes. And sometimes they just are like boring. Like they're just like, "Yeah, I'm just another person. Don't mind me."
All right.
They don't
Dude, that's
try to
every
stand
white
out.
comic. That's what I don't like, man. They're all so self-deprecating. It's all this. So much of it is the same.
Well, don't you think Asians are more self-deprecating?
I don't think so. No, actually, I can't really base. There's not that many Asian comics, but like Ronnie Chang, Jimmy Yang, they're not that self-deprecating.
I guess not. I mean, they tap into the black culture thing about like bragging.
Yeah, yeah, dude, you got to go the opposite direction. If everybody thinks Asians are meek, go the opposite, then like uplift Asians. That's kind of what I do. That's why I have wrote so many yellow fever jokes.
I mean, I just don't try to like boost myself up or put myself down. I just do whatever it takes to get that laugh. Like I'll do either. I'm not married to one or the other. But yeah, I don't buy into the whole you gotta have confidence, and the more confidence you have, the better you are. Like I don't give a shit. I think it's better to be successful without confidence than to be confident and then find success, because then you have to like bluff your way there, and it's like that's not what real funny or real humor, or real success or real winning is about. It's not about confidence. It's about doing what you have to do to get the win. Like basketball is about shooting the basket. It's not about having confidence. So if I can get the ball in the hoop without your version of confidence and without the appearance of confidence, then I am more satisfied with that victory because I didn't have to buy into your shitty culture to succeed. So
That's interesting because I feel like right now with podcasts blowing up, everybody's got a YouTube special. Comedians are kind of like being blown into like kind of being compared to like rock stars. So that comes with like the confidence, and so that's what people expect. So when they see somebody who's like not deadpan but like more conversational like you, it like contrasts with their expectations. They're like, I thought every comedian's like a rock star. They go out like this and they're like, fuck, bitch, midget, crutch.
Yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't work in comedy. It's hard to be a braggart and like a arrogant person. It works in rap, but in comedy it's just like off-putting because there's no music, there's no feeling, it's just thoughts, and the only thought is I'm the best, which is obviously not true unless you're like Joe Rogan. But even he's not arrogant. He has to do his comedy despite the fact that he's famous. It seems like more than bragging about it and leaning into it. He's like just funny, even though he's famous.
Yeah.
But
Just to show that you're still a normal guy.
yeah, it's just not a good thought that I'm the best. Like, because it's obviously not true. And then I think you have to respect humans now. If you do comedy, then you respect the audience and you respect the collective. And you don't just ignore them and just say that they're idiots.
No, that's what I hate the most, man. I would never book a comic if I see them on stage, even at a mic, just being like, y'all decided to stay for this? Y'all paid money to see this show? Like, God damn, I hate that.
Yeah. It's like so against what you're supposed to do. They're like, I'm going to do exactly what I'm not supposed to do. But some things, like, you don't have to do that, like, just to break the mold. Like, you should be breaking the mold for a reason, not just to break the mold. And they're just like all just like anti whatever's going on, instead of like they don't have like a message. They just are against a bunch of things.
Mm.
So what do you think? Do you think that we should radically reshape our society?
I don't know what to do, man, besides keep on telling dick jokes. That's where the nihilism comes into play. I'm just like, have fun and then don't be an asshole.
So how do you have fun?
Comedy, try to make 3 friends, keep sniffing this.
3 friends and what timeline?
Good question. End of the year.
End of the year.
I got my girlfriend. That's 1.
3 new friends?
1.5. Huh?
3 new friends?
Yeah.
Or like 3 close friends?
3 close friends. I have like maybe 4 close friends already, but I don't see them as often because they're other places.
Yeah, friends that you don't hang out with all the time are barely friends. I don't like keeping up with people via text.
Yeah, you can't, dude.
Yeah. It's like, you gotta be here. I don't give a shit. If you aren't here, then what kind of friend are you? You're not even
You still
coming to
talk
hang out with me.
to people in New York?
Not really. I don't talk to anyone. I hate text messaging people. It's just a chore.
That's why whenever I hear like comics talking about like, yeah, I'm still good friends with this guy who lives in LA. We chat all the time. I'm like, how do you build that relationship and like sustain it?
I would love to. It's so helpful. Like if you go visit
Yeah.
and you have like a large group of friends. But yeah, I mean, I never really do that. I should though. I think it's a powerful tool. I'm not good at it. It's just a chore for me. It's not fun.
Mm.
A lot of it is just like small talk until you get to a good punchline. And it takes just too much effort.
Yeah, sometimes it does feel like a circle jerk to where
Yeah.
it's like, why are we trying to jerk each other off?
Yeah, I would much rather talk to someone that I can talk to in person. And also, like girls, I'd rather talk to a girl that is physically fuckable.
What the hell do you mean? You're
Like
talking
someone
to
who's like
amputees?
500, someone who's like 500 miles away. It's like, why are we even talking?
Why are you talking to them in the first place?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
What? Okay, good. I thought your like Hinge and Tinder settings were up to like 500 miles. I was like, no, dude,
No.
same neighborhood, half a mile.
I think girls like doing that because it's like a game. It's like, let me just play the game of dating without any consequences. But yeah, unless there's consequences, it's not fun. Unless we could actually fuck, then what is the point? It's like fucking playing basketball without any net, without a hoop. I just think that there's so much waiting around and doing nothing and dating anyways. I don't need to like simulate that with a far away date.
Mm.
Like there's plenty of dates that go nowhere.
What's the worst date you've been on?
The worst date I've been on was in Seattle like 5 years ago, and it was like a girl who was very overweight. We met at this vegan coffee shop, and she made me take the Briggs Myers test.
No, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I was so horny. I was like such a fucking loser. And I did the whole Briggs Myers test with her. And I found out I'm a whatever, some bullshit. I don't even believe in that shit. And then we went to the locks. A dam.
What is that?
It's
Oh,
like a
okay.
dam where like fish go. And then she was like playing Pokemon Go. She was like addicted to Pokemon Go. And we were in the middle of a date. She was playing Pokemon Go. I was latched onto her, like on her side, just like kissing her. And she was playing Pokemon Go. And then I made out with her. And then I texted her, sorry, I don't think we should date anymore. And she's like, you should have told me that when we met. I was like,
Why don't you just try to
"We were
hook up
busy
with her and then
playing Pokemon
bounce?
Go." Well, she didn't want to. She had fat people mentality. Where she's like all about her pleasures and it's all about me. No, stop doing that. We're doing what I'm doing.
Asian or white?
White. But yeah, that was the first and only date. And she was mad at me because I led her on, apparently. But,
Well,
yeah.
that honestly, that date went better than I thought. I thought when she told you to take the personality test, she'd be like, "Oh, you're an INTJ? Get the fuck out of here."
It was so long. It took forever. And it was
It's like
just
90
her asking me
questions,
questions. And it was like, fuck, let's just talk. Like, you don't get to know people with some fucking
didn't
industrial test.
Do it on a phone or a laptop?
She had it
like-
on in her phone. She asked me the question.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, it's like such an artificial way to get to know someone. It's like, oh, this sheet says you're this kind of person. Why don't you just actually talk to me? But yeah, I don't believe in Briggs Myers or any personality test. I think it's just like a shitty way to get to know someone.
Dude, she makes you take the personality test. You make her take a BMI test. You gotta know what you're dealing with. That's fun.
You're pre-diabetic. But yeah, I was on this other date where I met up with this girl a bunch of times. We just hung out and stuff, and she didn't even kiss me. She was
Did
like,
you make the move?
no.
That's why.
Well, I
Girls don't
shouldn't
make the
have
move.
to. Well, it should be a mutual thing. But it was just like she just
Grab
wanted
by
to
the
hang
pussy.
out.
Uh,
It was disgusting.
I did have a girl like that too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what are you getting out of this? Like, this is not how anyone
What? How old was that girl who just wanted to hang out?
my age, she was like 28. It's just like so slow and so neurotic.
And all you're thinking is like, how am I gonna get laid tonight? That's
It's an important part of it. They say split view screen, dual camera, one behind each of them. I did that last time, and people
was that?
didn't like it. I like this way because it's like
Yeah, you see
this
everything.
is what the conversation looks like, even
Yeah.
though you can only see half of our faces.
all right. We'll lean this way.
We don't have to. Yeah, I like it doing it this way. The split screen is kind of weird because then you don't really get a clear sense of what kind of room we're sitting in and what's going on.
I don't get to see the full hexagons.
Yeah, I have a green screen we could use.
Yeah, definitely use that next time.
Why?
You don't want to make it look like we're doing the podcast at Mar-a-Lago?
It's just too distracting, and then it takes like you gotta set it up, and then I don't know. We can do it. But yeah, what's the worst date you've been on?
Let's see. It was in New York, and we met through Hinge. This girl said she was, I'm 5'11", but I said I was 6'1". And then this girl said she was 5'9". But we met, and we met at eye level, and we were like, you both looked at each other like, you fucking liar. So it like started off with distrust already.
So you lied about being taller, and she lied about being shorter.
Yeah, we met right at the middle, dude.
Oh my god, you guys are the exact same height, lying to
Yeah.
each other.
She looked pretty, but like, man, Sheila is like such a hard ass. I told her, I was just straight up with her. I was like, I'm starting comedy right now. She's like, I don't like comedy. I was like, well, fuck this. You're not gonna like. Ugh.
I don't like comedy. That's like if you're doing improv and someone's like, I'm a tree, and someone's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
It's like there's no way to recover from that on a date. Like, you don't say no. Like, even if you hate comedy, you're like, oh, cool. I like this one comedy that I saw, like, you try to search in
Yeah.
your brain for some positive thing. But if you say no, I don't know what the fuck you've been
dude.
through. Like, I can't tell you what a positive memory you have of
even
comedy
like
is.
an orphan who was raped has a sense of humor. That bitch like rode horses from Washington D.C. She got god damn.
Who the
man.
fuck hates comedy? That's like
I
hating
know.
happiness.
She smiled like twice during the date, and I was like, she was like such a narcissist, dude. And then what's even worse is that I try to embrace like living in New York, doing spontaneous shit. This guy came up to us hammered, and he was like, "Hey guys, I'm blackout, but I got courtside tickets to the Knicks game. Y'all want to go?" And I was like, "I kind of do want to, but I want to ditch this bitch." But she came along.
You got courtside seats for next game
Yeah.
from a homeless guy?
No. The guy who was at the bar, he was hammered, and he's like, "I can't make it."
And so he just helped your date out?
He tried to. I think honestly, he noticed how awkward it was, and he's like, "I think it'd be funny if I did that."
If I made this date continue?
Yeah, basically, that was like the worst 4 hours of my life, dude.
So you went on this thing?
Yeah, we went, sat courtside. It was amazing. And
How
I
much
tried-
were the tickets?
tickets? Courtside, so like probably like $800 each.
He sold you them for how much you
He
paid?
gave it to us free.
Oh, shit.
That's the wild part,
Nice.
dude.
Yeah,
I
that should
would
have been a
not-
great date.
Yeah, should have been.
What, was she like finding negative things? Like, these seats are too close.
No, dude, I would just like keep trying to chat.
Was she
with her.
happy at the basketball game?
No, she wasn't.
She's just miserable
She was
everywhere.
like, no, she was
she
like,
hates
I
comedy.
I love basketball, and I was like, it didn't feel like it, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, some girls are just like, you see this at comedy shows. You go to a comedy show and there's some guy in the audience just like having the worst time ever because
Yeah.
they're like, you're the comedian, make me feel good. I'm gonna be in the worst mood possible so I
Yeah.
get the highest rise up. But it's like, you also have to be in a good mood. I can't just make you in a good mood. And that's, I feel like some girls are like, I'm just gonna be miserable and let's see if this guy can handle me at my worst. It's just like
That's
such a
exactly
toxic
what
mentality.
happened.
And then it's like, oh, he didn't make me impossibly happy. You're a failure. You're a bad man. Because if you were awesome, you would have made me feel so happy, even though I put in no work myself.
That's why this exists, man. If she had like a couple drinks before, she would have been less of a hassle.
Or any drug. I think alcohol is just associated
Give her
with
the horny
it.
jug.
Yeah, go watch some Japanese porn.
Dude, I'm an introvert. I talk a decent-ish amount, but I had to steer the conversation. And then I asked her, I was like, "Are you an introvert or an extrovert?" I knew the fucking answer, and she was like, "I'm definitely an extrovert." I was like, "No, you're a bitch, dude. You're a bitch."
I'm just extroverted, not around you. Yeah, I mean, some people just are in a bad mood, or dating is, there's a lot going on. Like, there's a lot of, you know, they have this idea of who they are, and then you go on a date, and it's like you have to maintain this idea of who you are.
Yeah. After the date, we just parted ways, and I was like, "Don't forget to drink milk tonight."
You just said something stupid
Yeah.
because the whole date was stupid. Well, that's unfortunate.
I know, she was cute too. Too bad.
Well, she's too tall for you.
No, we were the same height. I would have been fine with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe she was just in a bad mood, or maybe she's just gonna go through life just being a shitty date for everyone and find a dude who can put up with all of her bullshit. who's
No,
weak enough.
what's gonna happen is she's gonna be 34 and lonely, and then pick up the first guy.
And then be desperate, be
Yeah.
kind on a date for once. But yeah, there's so many horny guys that eventually she's gonna find someone who's gonna be able to put up with that, and then she's gonna fuck him and then find a way to make it work if she wants to.
Yeah, it'll be work, and then in about 7 years they'll get divorced.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not all women's fault because like men here are crazy too. Like, you know, they're like extra aggressive and you know, they're like trying not to get crushed by the wheels of capitalism and they have to like be like, I'm awesome. I deserve all the basic human rights that aren't afforded to most of the population because that's how awesome I am. So you have to have like this level of arrogance as a man because like if you don't, then you're just resigning yourself to being a homeless trailer park, trailer trash loser.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's an unhealthy environment just because like men are just hyper violent and aggressive, and women are like trying to boost their ego by rejecting as many people as possible. What are you doing now?
I'm thinking about my response to that. This is like a tantric.
Oh shit. Well, hopefully you'll come up with a response. You got a little distracted.
Dude, I'm feeling the White Claws right now, dude. I told you I'm a lightweight. I barely
Yeah, you
had
are.
this.
You don't have the enzyme to break it down.
No, I don't.
Your face isn't as red anymore.
No, after like 40 minutes.
You haven't even finished this.
I know, dude. I'm gonna get DUI if I finish this. I didn't eat that much today.
What do you think about all this?
What, life or
Yeah.
this pod?
Both.
Got to do shrooms and then I'll reevaluate.
So let's just assume that you've done shrooms or that you're on shrooms now. What do you think that you'd feel?
I think I would feel more connected with the world. My guilt would be alleviated for about 3 months.
Your guilt?
Yeah.
What guilt do you have? Being a shitty date?
I ain't the shitty date. She was.
Okay.
That's what
We'll
I'll
have to
tell
take your
myself.
word for it.
Come to a Knicks game with me. I think I'll make you smile more than twice.
Oh my god. I'll be like, wow, Chris is such a charmer.
Yeah, man.
feel like
I don't
my
even have to make him
assholes.
take a personality test. He's got the blue check mark on me.
I don't have a blue check mark.
Dude, you should just apply for it, man. You already got like 100K.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really need it. I'm happy without it. Brian Redband doesn't have a blue check mark. So if he doesn't, who am I to get a blue check mark?
True. Would help with the ladies though, if they see the blue check mark and the 100K.
And the
whatever.
Shang-Chi. I'm gonna get the most basic dumbass bitches that you're always fucking. I'm gonna get Chris Tan level bitches. Bring smelling salts to a date. Oh my god, it actually puts thoughts in my brain for once. It
No,
makes
they
me
would
feel
look at this and be
feelings.
like, "Can you be more subtle about roofying me?"
What is that, deodorant? The little net is so hilarious because it's like you're never getting out of here. You're just purely for
My cosmetic. use.
smell. I just want your essence. I don't want you. Whatever the fuck this is. This is so weird, dude. Don't you think it's like something that someone that doesn't have like a fully functional brain does? Like makes me feel things. Like yeah,
Hey,
that's what
hey.
your thoughts are supposed to do.
You've smelled it like 30 times. You're no better. You're no better, dude.
I add it. I use it to add. I don't use it to replace.
I'm using this to enhance. Yeah.
Well, what have your enhancements taught you?
Timing on stage has been better. If I'm about to drive home drunk, this kind of wakes me up. It's gotten
Yeah.
me out of like 3 DUIs.
Isn't it crazy that everything is car based here, and then alcohol is the most common drug? It's like setting yourself up for drunk driving accidents. And then our roads are trash in Austin.
Somebody said it best. They're like, you're not really a resident of Austin until you learn how to drive after 2 beers.
Yeah, you should do that. It'll help. I think we should have set that up behind us or something. This is doing nothing.
Yeah, I was like, why did he put it over there? I guess maybe at least closer to the camera.
Yeah. We should turn that light on too, on top of the camera. Maybe next time.
That's fine. It's fine. How long have we been going? Feels like 2.5.
1.5.
These boys are 2 claw crazy. Dude, I'm like 1.5 claw crazy. I'm like 2 nails.
What is it that you'd like to say to people if you could get the chance to tell people something?
First off, invest in herbal inhalants. We want to start a trend, right, Hans?
That's all you, man. This is the
Fine,
kind of
I'll find a
stuff you
new
do.
sponsor. All right.
This is the kind of stuff you do when you have no issues in your life. You just start smelling things because you're so bored.
I am getting into cigars. After working with Rogan, have you gotten into cigars yet?
No, not really.
Damn.
I can't really smoke too much. I got a really sensitive throat.
You giving me shit about not smoking weed?
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't want to smoke weed. I'm honestly addicted, and it's not healthy.
Do you do it before getting up on stage?
Sometimes.
Does it help?
It's sometimes it helps. It's both. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. So what do you think about well, what I would tell people is like to not just do what you feel the momentum of your society is forcing you to do, but do something that is actually natural and human and like something that you would feel drawn to. Because I feel like if you just do what you're told and what you're feel like you're forced to do, you're just gonna be used as a tool for people that are gonna use you for their benefit and not your own. I think you should utilize yourself to your own benefit and become an enhanced version of yourself, and that will be actually better for humanity and society overall. But what do you
That's a good
think?
message. I agree with that. Something that nobody really talks about is that when society kind of tells you like do this and that, to be happy you got to be selfish and just say fuck you to the system, fuck you to your boss, sometimes even your own family. Happiness, you got to be selfish.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of happiness comes from helping others. It's pretty much everything that anyone does is to help other people.
I was just thinking about it from like a comedy art perspective, to where like there's people who are like, no, don't do it, but you're like, no, this is all for me.
Yeah. Well, you got to help yourself to help others.
Right.
You can't be like a disheveled loser with no money and try to help other people.
Yeah, how am I gonna make this world better without midget jokes?
What do you think about midgets?
I don't really see them around that much. I say midget as like a go-to riff, so I'm glad I haven't run into that situation yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those words that people are like, don't say, but, you know, I don't think that your first, I don't think that the best way to gain empathy for a minority group is to tell people what to say and what not to say. I think it's like, you're going to have to pay attention to me and do what I want, because for so long I've been dealing with your bullshit. It's like, why don't you just like tell us something positive about you? Tell us something that we can call you instead of what we can't call you. Like,
What are your thoughts on BBW?
Big beautiful women,
Yeah, your old
or
date.
black beautiful women. Big women. I think like a lot of people have shitty diets, and they come from a time when we didn't know much about nutrition, so it's not always their fault. And especially if you're like not white or Asian, if you're like, you know, Mexican or black, like you're not designed to handle the amount of sugar that we have in our diet.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of minorities are disproportionately affected by obesity. So I try not to blame people, but I think it's also wrong to just be like, yeah, you're beautiful no matter how unhealthy you are. I think it's like, no, this is a sad reality that it's not their fault, but they're fat and it's not good. And it just takes a lot of sort of intellectual power to just be like, understand the world for what it is instead of like thinking about it in a way that makes you feel better. But some people are just fat because they overeat and they're stupid and
Yeah.
shitty.
Dude, I used to be a fat kid. I wish the fat loving movement was a thing back in like 2008.
It wouldn't have been much better for you. Even if you're in the fat loving, people know in the back of their minds that you're
Undesirable.
Yeah. It's just like a sugar coating over it. So I mean, isn't that good to be a fat kid? Because then you grow up. Like, kids aren't supposed to be hot. You're just supposed to be whatever you are to get ahead. Like, you're a cat, you're like a cocoon. Like, this isn't your final form. You don't want to waste all your marbles being a hot kid and end up being an ugly adult. You're just in the middle stages, so you have to be whatever you have to be hot later.
Mm.
But how fat were you?
I was 13, 5, 6, 7, and 195 pounds.
You weren't that fat. You were fat for an Asian. But you're
no,
like
dude, my
American
doctor,
average.
the whole reason why I lost weight is because my doctor was like, dude, if you gain more weight, you're going to get diabetes.
What were you eating?
Decently healthy food, not too much soda or sweets, but
So why were you so fat then?
Because I would eat like 5 meals a day.
So
Meals,
it's just-
no snacks.
It's just like the amount of food you were eating.
Yeah.
Why did you eat so much?
I think because I was unhappy. I went to a school with a bunch of white kids.
So you were dealing with your problems by eating.
Probably. That's what my therapist told me. I was like, no, it's because my family works at a grocery store.
So you have access, you have a supply.
Basically, yeah.
You got
dude.
high on your own supply. That's funny. So what do you think it was?
Maybe a lack of friends growing up in elementary school. Perhaps. I also think there is a big temptation with food at home. So it's a chicken and the egg situation.
So your family is overeaters?
No, just me when I was a kid. There's no other fat kids.
Wow, that's crazy that you just became fat through like sheer amount of food instead of like the type of food.
Yeah. I remember my family would go to like a buffet and I would always like take 2 cookies to go. And then I tried to like start losing weight and I was like, you know what? I'm on a diet now. I'm gonna only take 1 cookie.
So do you think that made you more like self-confident and like more into your own self because you were like, there was like a voice that you were fighting in your own head and no one else wanted to play with you, and so you were just like, you had to create your own world. You had to create your own dialogue and narration.
Yeah, I talk to myself a lot even now. But yeah. I thought losing weight would have gotten me more girls. Did not help at all. Made no difference.
Yeah, what did help get girls?
Waiting for Crazy Rich Asians to come out.
What is with you and following cultural trends?
It helps, man.
I don't
I also
know how much that helps.
think just not going to a school full of white people helps a lot.
Yeah. You like diversity, you like people that come from your cultural background.
No, I don't like diversity. I like only Asians.
Really? You're so weird. I don't think you'd do well with Asians. They'd be like, why are you so different?
No, American Asians like us. That's different. I grew up only with white kids, and then I went to college and I made friends with like American-born Asians, and I was like, holy shit, where have you been?
Yeah, it's
Right.
important because like Asians are kind of stuck up and they're like, they don't really
Asian or
meld.
Asian American?
Asians. And then white people are just like, they're unaware. They're like, they only think about themselves. They're like, ah, they're always yelling and doing whatever the fuck they want to do. But Asian Americans are like sort of in the middle. They're like, they're thinking about shit and they're like observing and they're noticing things that, you know, self-centered, selfish Americans would never notice. But they're also like into having fun and like free in a way that Asians aren't, because they're like worried about their grades, or like, you know, they're not really looking to have a good time. They're really more looking to have like tangible results, like money or something.
Yeah, I think our generation, especially if you're like around 30, even younger, that I think it's you have the good qualities of being Asian, but also the good qualities of being an American, to where like free-willed, entrepreneurial, Asian, just like smart, hardworking, so melded together.
Yeah. If only we lived in a meritocracy.
Dude, I wish, man. I wish.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good way to go. Even if it's not beneficial, it's still like the best way to be. I'd rather be that way than any other way. Sort of aware and not just like clueless and unaware. So, you want to call it a podcast?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's see if there's any good comments to end on.
New York, Washington, Diet Coke. You should write a book. Kids book. Tubbins gets
Tubbins get
type 2.
Harriet
Which
Tubman getting type 2? I don't know.
Yeah,
That
a
doesn't
couple
sound
jackets
good.
and a lot of hot chocolate. You're just like Tubbins. Truth is more painful. There's nothing good. Have you looked like the carrot? Hans, you look like the carrot cake my grandma made for me last Wednesday. It's very specific. Was it like an oval, round carrot cake? Anyways,
She's calling you Trump. You look orange.
anything you want to say?
Yellow fever. Long
Hell
live.
yeah. Yes, start fucking Asian guys. We're not that bad. We're part of the ecosystem.